Welcome back to the blowy fields of Perthshire. Yet again, another windy day. It's supposed to be dry all day and it just rained, so fingers crossed. It's a very windy day. I'm standing in behind one of the farm sheds to try and get a little bit of protection for the microphone, but I'm back out with the Deus 2. As you know, I've had my issues, I've had my problems. When I turned it on, having got back from the last outing, in the driveway, the coil immediately paired. And then I realised that the last time I had an issue with the coil pairing a few months ago, it was actually in the same field that the issue happened most recently. So I'm wondering if it even could be some sort of electrical interference or something. But I'll get in touch with XP and see if they've got a solution or if they know what the problem might be. And I know a few of you have also suggested I should try a few different things. So it's working. We'll give it a bash. And I'm on a new field, new permission. It's a pretty wild day yet again. So windy, it's just unreal. It's relentless. But there isn't a huge amount of history to this field. There's a few things in and around from the Bronze Age, the Iron Age, but there is an old trackway that runs right down the side of the field that appears on maps way back in the 1700s. So I'm hoping maybe to turn up something Georgian and maybe something a little bit older. So let's go and see if we can find some treasures. Barely 25 seconds in, we've got our first digger, 7880. Now I am right next to the gateway, which probably tells you aluminium. A few people said as well, oh, if you've got this new pinpointer, we're not going to hear the beeps and so on. But what I've done is I've still set it up so that you can hear, because I know a lot of you like to hear the signals. What have we got? What's that? That is it. It's a thing. What is that? You know what that is? I think it's a light switch. It's an old-fashioned, so that would be attached to like one of those little circular porcelain pieces, and that's the switch. So it's in the off position, well, unless it's that way, in which case it's in the on position, but a bit of junk to get us going. But better than a tin can. Right, let's see what else we can find. Okay, another one. 92, 94. Silver or a bottle top? Silver would be nice. As I say, this field, there isn't really any immediate history in the field, but as I touched on earlier, there is some history around, and also an old trackway which runs along the side of the field, which is where I am detecting at the moment. I'm just following that down. Still 95, 96. Could be a bit of brass. Was that it there? No, that's a stone again. Well, it's down there still. What's that? There you go. That is a... don't know what that is, to be honest. I was going to say it's the bottom of a can, but it's not. It's another part of the light switch. Too big to be a watch. Looks like it's got a screw in it. It does. So it's something. Oh, there we go. It's well, it's a thing. I mean, it could be part of a light switch. I'm not that far away from where I got the switch because I've doubled back on myself, but well, it's something like that, isn't it? Probably some sort of fitting. Well, it's got writing on it. It's got writing on it, but I don't think it's going to be legible. I think it's too corroded. Yeah, don't know, but yeah, I think it's probably something electrical, some sort of electrical box or fitting, or maybe even part of a light switch. This one wasn't a great target, but it was registering about an 84, 85, and whilst digging the hole, which was 4 spadefuls, it vanished on the 3rd spadeful, then reappeared and it's out the hole. And sometimes that can be a coin. Not on this occasion though. This occasion it's a lump of lead. Ugh, rubbish. Yeah, again, it's the one you don't dig. Sorry, it's the one you don't film, I meant to say. Is the one that produces something. Something there is round. It's either a coin or a button. Came through as a 74, and I think it might be a coin. It's not, it's a button. Oh well, I was close. It was one or the other, and it's a button. It's an old button though. It's probably going to be around about 300 years old, I would think. Still got the loop and the shank, but just a plain one. Very, very thin. These tend to be Georgian from the 1700s, so probably around 300, 250 to 300 or so years old. So it's a good sign. At least there's something here. Well, someone was here. Hopefully they had holy pockets as well. I think I was just about to set a new world record for the longest someone has gone without finding a target. It's been almost 2 hours getting blown around in this field, and my target is on the ground right in the middle of the screen. Can you see it? I don't even need to dig for it because it's half out the ground. Right there is a coin, and it's a penny. George V saves the day again. Look at that. It's amazing how often after a field is ploughed, it's amazing how often you can get coins on the surface and buttons on the surface. I've had a lot of heavy rain recently, so they get brought up from deeper down and they end up you know, getting washed, the mud getting washed off the top of them. 1919, there you go. The official end of the Great War. It's when they signed the Treaty of Versailles, and the German Navy blew itself up, scuttled all their ships in Scotland, in Orkney in the north of Scotland, and it is George V. So immediately after the end of the Great War. Terrible times, millions and millions of lives lost for not a lot. A war that some say, if Queen Victoria was alive, would never have happened, because she was the auntie, I think, if I remember rightly, of most of those who were involved. But 1919, George V. Nice to see you, George. Brilliant. A coin at last. Right underneath the power lines. 83, 84. No, don't think it's going to be good. Oh well, then again. Oh, this wind is driving me mad. Honestly, Scotland, sort the weather out. Well, there's something. What is that? Part of a fuel cap, I think. Yeah, I think it is. It's got writing on it, so it would be the brand of the particular manufacturer. Begins with an M. It looks like ME, maybe Mex or something like that, but yeah, it's a lid off of either a jerry can or a fuel for a tractor, you know, a fuel cap for a tractor or something. But it's a thing, probably 100 years old at best. Well, what a day, folks. Sorry for making you suffer through that. I doubt that's going to be a particularly long video. If I'm able to get 8 or 10 minutes out of that, I'll probably be impressed. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, just one of those days again today. Thank goodness I got that penny, which came after about 3 hours. I've done about 4.5 hours, so pretty disappointing. Two keepers, and let's have a wee look at them. And there is the best of the best. At least I got a coin. Oh, get you in the light might help. So George V, 1 penny, 1919, which, as I mentioned, that's the year that the German Navy scuttled their ships in a place called Scapa Flow in Orkney, which is to the north of the mainland of Scotland. The German Navy had surrendered, but they were undefeated, and the British decided first of all to anchor them in the Firth of Forth, which is just off of Edinburgh, and then later they decided to transfer them all to Orkney in the north of Scotland because it's a huge natural harbour. And the Germans realised, or the German commanders realised, that their navy was going to be carved up by the Allies who had been victorious. So they took the decision to scuttle the ships. So they sank more than a dozen ships, blew them up, and it resulted in quite a number of deaths. But that was their way of preventing the ships from falling into the Allies' hands. And also got this little button, which was one of the first finds, one of the first targets. I hoped it was a coin, but not to be. Probably from the 1700s, 1750s, something like that. So that's it. Not a great day for metal detecting, but hey ho. So as you can see, I'm hiding behind this ancient stone wall, which in itself is probably 200 or 300 years old. Well, I had high hopes for this field because generally when you go into an undetected field in Perthshire, you're not short of targets, but I really didn't dig a lot at all. I am up on the top of a hill, so maybe there just wasn't a lot of crops being grown here in the days of old. Maybe it was more sheep, so therefore less people. But I got a coin, so that kind of saved it. It's getting to that time of year where the fields are going to be planted. In fact, the farmers are weeks and weeks behind because it's been so wet. And I suspect as soon as there's a window of good weather, which, well, should come eventually, then all of these fields will be planted. So in a week or two's time, I'm going to be starting to struggle for permissions because I've not got a lot of pasture. And also I'm going to be doing a lot more work. So yeah, enjoy it while it lasts because it will start to slow down a little bit. But as ever, thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. If you're not already subscribed, then please hit that button. And hopefully I'll see you on the next dig. So take care and thanks for watching. Oh, and more importantly, the DS2, not a problem. No issues whatsoever. Turned it off and on a few times, coil connected every time. So I don't know what was going on. Fingers crossed that continues. Right, we'll see you all soon. Take care.